This is the Saturday, July 25th edition of the Dark Illumination Report Podcast Extra. And on today's show, I'm going to be giving you some basic tips on how to consecrate your altar and your ritual room.
This is a Dark Illumination Report Extra with RJ Womack.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for yet another episode of the podcast. This is the Dark Illumination Report Podcast, and I'm your host, RJ Womack, aka Brother Nero, your friendly neighborhood diabolist. And on this show, we try to teach young diabolists how to approach Satanism as a serious faith and way of life. Hopefully you're into that sort of thing if you're here. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a good day. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about basic consecrations, how to consecrate your ritual chamber, how to consecrate your altar. And this is nothing special. It's nothing fancy. It's not specific to me. It's just kind of a general idea. I don't want to give away specific things about how I do things simply because I want to wait till I write them down. And secondly, I don't really feel that people should be expected to be spoon-fed how to do rituals. I'm not like other authors who feel that you need to be told exactly how to pray, exactly how to consecrate. I think you need to follow your intuition. I think you need to learn on your own. I think you need to connect with Satan. And I think that if somebody tells you exactly what to do and exactly how to do it, then you don't learn anything. So that's my approach. But anyway, just to give you some general ideas, in order to consecrate your ritual chamber, you could use floor wash. You could use white sage or sage to cleanse your ritual chamber before you put your altar up. That's what I would recommend. If you're moving your altar into a new space, I would recommend that you either use floor wash or you use sage to cleanse the room first. I would even go so far as to use floor wash and sage. And the way you use floor wash is typically in voodoo or some kind of practice that's similar to hoodoo or voodoo. You basically wipe from the back of the room, you mop the floor with the floor wash from the back of the room to the front of the room, going out the door and out of your house. And basically that's to get rid of the negative energy. And while you're doing that, visualize the negative energy going out. And then in addition to that, I would do the white sage around the room just to cleanse the area, just to give you a fresh start before you do any ritual work. And then once you do that, I would consecrate the altar with the elements of earth, fire, air, water, etc., and blood for the element of spirit. And then what I would do is I would say each one of the demon names that correspond to the elements, whichever ones you choose, you should choose which demons you think most appropriately represent the elements. And obviously you can look up the classical, or at least some of the classical demons that are associated with the elements. I'm not going to tell you which ones you should use. I'm going to tell you to choose for yourself. And make sure you do that. And make sure that when you're doing your prayers and you consecrate your altar, you ask Satan and the demons to use the altar as a conduit between the worlds, between the realm of the living and the realm of the dead, the realm of the spirits and the kingdom of darkness, that sort of thing. Like I said, I'm not going to give you specific invocations, but you get the idea. And if you don't get the idea and you can't figure it out on your own based on what I'm saying, then maybe you need to read a few books and maybe you need to study some more before you start consecrating anything. That's just my opinion. Take it or leave it as you will. I hope that helps. I hope it gives you some ideas. Sorry if I'm being a little vague, but like I said, I really want to write down my own rituals and put them to paper, so I don't want to give specific rituals. And I also don't want to give specific rituals because I think it's wrong when people are spoon-fed exactly how to do things. I think that's one of the reasons why diabolists have become lazy. I think it's one of the reasons why they don't know what they're talking about most of the time. And I think it's a bad habit to get into, to expect people to give you everything. When I was growing up, we didn't have people to learn from. We had to go to the library and learn what we could and read what we could and develop our own rituals. And because the internet has made everything so easily available, people have become lazy and stupid. And I don't want to promote that on this podcast because, as I said, I believe Satan's a God of knowledge, a God of wisdom, a God of intellect. And I believe he wants his children to be intelligent and to be resourceful. And I don't want to make you weak and dependent and soft. That is for other people to do, not me. This is not a ministry that's going to teach you to be soft and codependent.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Illumination Report podcast. For the latest news headlines, show information, and more, go to rjwomack.com. That's rjwomack.com.